The Objective News Network. Is the world moving toward a new world order? Last night, I watched 60 Minutes, which had an extended time of 90 minutes to facilitate the appearance of the Five Eyes Intelligence Network, consisting of the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. This is the very first time that the Five Eyes Alliance of English-speaking nations has publicly come together in front of a world television audience. What could be so important that they asked to come together for a TV spot that would be seen across the entire globe? The answer, unlike most of the secretive work the intelligence community engages in, is perhaps revealed by listening to the main topic of discussion. The number one message was the new intelligence and physical military threat posed by China in its rivalry with the United States to become the world's largest and most dominant military and economic superpower in the world. Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, and his intelligence colleagues were definitely there to send a signal to the world. The word unprecedented was used to describe China's growing intelligence collection efforts to obtain U.S. military secrets and to commit economic espionage against the West. China was characterized as the single biggest threat to freedom here in the homeland, Europe, and across the world, all the way from the Middle East and the Hamas-Israel war, aggression in the South China Sea, including Taiwan, and using Chinese naval vessels to ram Philippine fishing boats, cozying up to Russia, China's support for Moscow and Putin in the area of the Ukraine war, close affiliations between Russia and China with Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Oman, and other Arab states. It was a not so subtle warning to the English-speaking West that China is actively attempting to change the post-World War II order by any means. But the English-speaking world has already been told almost incessantly that China has moved from its initial period of statehood as a communist nation to become a growing nation with the world's second largest economy, and some would argue the largest military force on earth, to become a pariah on the world stage, hungry for its own imperial glory. So then, what is the real signal that the Five Eyes is trying to send us? Perhaps they are trying to warn us that the United States is not facing the challenge of a Chinese rush to war, at least the one based on global domination of the United States, well enough, or warning us of an impending world war involving China. On January 20th, 2021, Joseph Biden was sworn in by the U.S. Chief Justice John Roberts as the 46th President of the United States. So what has happened to embolden the Chinese now more than ever before in this not-so-friendly rivalry? Maybe it's the Chinese perception of us formed by watching our own actions, the actions of us, the United States. So let's take a quick but objective look. Imagine that you're Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, head of ISIS, the Taliban, Hezbollah, or Hamas. In August 2021, U.S. troops withdrew from Afghanistan, a chaotic end to America's longest war and a turning point in the Biden presidency, the moment when his approval ratings fell and have never recovered. The way the U.S. withdrawal looked to the rest of the world was rivaled only by America's humiliating defeat in Vietnam. To China, Russia, and our enemies in the Arab Middle East, the performance of General Milley and the U.S. military was much more than a humiliating and a global embarrassment. It was a sign, a signal that the United States, both politically and militarily, was no longer competent. It was now weak and vulnerable, proof that the U.S. position in the world, including the deterioration of our own military capability, made us vulnerable to defeat. And then there is the crisis at the southern border of the United States. The inability of a country, the United States, to even control its own borders, let alone engage in a military war with China. Even worse, when we consider that thousands upon thousands of those entering the United States did not bother to ask permission, they just walked into the homeland without any contact, let alone being apprehended. We do not even know who these people are. Certainly, an invitation to the Chinese and terrorist incursion to commit terror in the American homeland and facilitate economic and military espionage on the part of China. Or how about the multitude of national security intelligence failures falling at the feet of the U.S. intelligence community under President Biden's watch? A complete intelligence failure in Afghanistan, the COVID-19 intelligence failure with respect to China's complicity in genetically mutating a pathogen that killed millions of people across the globe, the errant weather balloon that was allowed to fly all the way across two nations, Canada and the United States, the extended effects of a prolonged war between Russia and Ukraine. How about the Capitol insurrection when there was no intelligence to be found? Or how about the surprise Hamas-Israel war that began on October 7th, 2023? But perhaps the single largest failure is the loss of U.S. control of artificial intelligence to our adversaries, including China and Russia. And the list goes on. It appears that Five Eyes is telling us to get ready for a war on three fronts: China, Russia, and the Arab world, including Iran, Islamic militants, and terrorists. It is what it is. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. We look forward to any comments you may have and what your ideas are to avoid a war with China and its coalition of countries, including Russia and the Arab world. Please tell your friends, family, colleagues, and followers about us, and please subscribe. We hope to see you the next time. Thank you.